Hello. Have you ever thought, well, I'm not a numbers person or I'm really no good with money? Hi, I'm Dr. Raquel Muller. And today on Thrive Thursday, I want to speak to these questions, this issue of money and how we feel about it and how we feel about managing it and tracking it, all the things. So, you're not alone if you have ever had those thoughts that I'm not good with money, I'm never going to make the money that I want. This is out of my comfort zone, or it's out of my competencies. So this is definitely a very real issue. And so that is why today I want to address that on Thrive Thursday. I'm going to be sharing with you the single most important mental shift that you can make in terms of money and finances. And then I'm going to also share with you how you can take control of your finances without all the stress, even if you are not a numbers person. All right. And then finally, I'm going to give you 3 key steps that you can start taking starting today to feel more confident about money and creating the financial freedom that you actually want. How does that sound? Who is in for that? Give me some comments in the chat if this is resonating with you. And if you've ever said those thoughts out loud or even inside your own mind, put a me in the comments that you're feeling me, that this is something that you have experienced. And again, you're not alone. This is something that I have struggled with for years, right? And that I just recently, I'm going to say, started to really dig into. Okay. Now, I also am aware, and you may be too, that there's a lot of societal messages to us women around our ability to handle money, to make wise financial decisions. And so sometimes it feels like this stuff is over our head, right? Or it feels overwhelming, confusing, frustrating. And incidentally, there are several money mindset books that I have found really, really helpful in terms of helping me to come to a different place when it comes to money and finances. So, and I'm going to mention what those are here in a little bit. But, I want to share a little bit about my own personal story around this. And, I remember some years back in the beginning of my business thinking, oh my gosh, I hate bookkeeping. It is just so complicated. It's so confusing. I just want to focus on doing my therapy. I just want to do my coaching and then leave the numbers tracking and the money management to an expert. Right? Have you ever been there? Are you feeling me? Is this resonating? Because again, you're not alone. This is a very, very common experience. And so this is what I started to learn, though, is that I realized when I started doing my own coaching journey, and that as much as I wanted to create this financial freedom through my business, right, that I was at the same time poo-pooing an aspect of my business that is key to creating that freedom, i.e., my numbers and money. And we know that money is a very lifeblood of a business, right? You can't expect to create success and abundance and flow when you're at the same time saying things like, I'm not a money person or I'm not a numbers person, right? Think about that. So that's another thing that I learned, is that I was expecting to receive this abundance, but at the same time I was saying, no, I'm not a money person. I need to put this off on someone else. So can you see that? I hope that you can. So when we say these messages to ourselves or even repeat them in conversations with other people, we are then reinforcing those very messages and that identity as somebody who is not good with money, not competent and not confident. So we want to, start shifting that. I realized that when I thought about future me, the very successful businesswoman in my future, she would never, what do you call it? Poo-poo the numbers and the bookkeeping, right? She would embrace it. Moreover, that woman in my future would actually think of this as something that she can learn, right? This is absolutely something that I am capable of learning. And I want you to know that you are capable of learning these things too. So I want you to take heart on that piece, right? That this is something that is a skill. It's not a personality flaw. It's something that you can learn. So what did I do? In the end, I decided to actually go ahead and hire that bookkeeper that I was thinking about. But instead of turning over my books to her, what I did is I asked her to show me how to do my own books using QuickBooks. And guess what I found? That it wasn't really as confusing and as difficult as I had made it out to be. Right? And that's another classic example of how sometimes we have these stories for ourselves about, something being hard, something being confusing or overwhelming. And then when you actually get to doing the practice of it, find that it's really not that difficult. And there is nothing more empowering than that. Dispelling those stories and knowing that this is something that you can tackle, that you can learn, and that you can do it successfully. It doesn't have to be that you become a numbers expert all of a sudden, right? And it doesn't have to be your zone of genius, but you need to understand the very basics. And that is what I realized, is that I need to know at least the very basics of how this works so that I can ask intelligent questions of my financial professional, so that I can make some savvy decisions. And when I need advice, I can go seek out that advice. Right? So I want to give you, I said the first thing that I was going to give you today is the number one shift that you need to make to create greater financial freedom. And it is this, is that you need to shift your relationship with money. So what does that mean? It means shifting the way that you think about money, the way that you talk about money, the way that you deal with money, that you manage it. Right? It's the idea that you have to start relating to it from a more empowering perspective, more empowering position. And this is a ongoing work. It's not something that you can just snap your fingers or read a couple books and it's solved, right? It requires a little bit of work and over time as well for you to actually develop that. But it is important, because if we don't address that piece about our relationship with money, it doesn't matter how much actual money we have sitting in the account or how much money we bring in, we will find ways to sabotage ourselves. We will continue to make mistakes with money. We will continue to experience a sense of lack and things not being, not feeling secure, not feeling safe, right? Expecting the other shoe to drop all the time. And that is the opposite of freedom, right? Are you with me? Who is with me? Give me some love. So we need to shift our mindset around money. So that's the number one thing, right? Shift your relationship with money. And I'm going to give you in a minute, some steps that you can follow to make that shift. Okay. So again, as I was saying earlier, I want you to know that this whole issue with money is stuff that these are skills that you can learn. And this new mindset is something that you can learn. Okay. And again, when you find yourself kind of bumping up against some edges, that is your opportunity to go seek out advice, go seek out some help. I mentioned before about, the money mindset books that have really helped me. And so I want to tell you some, and these are just a few of many, right? But You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero has been a fantastic book. Get Rich Lucky Bitch by Denise Duffield Thomas. We Should All Be Millionaires with Rachel Rodgers. These are all fantastic books that address not only the money mindset, but also give some practical advice around how to shift that relationship. So that's actually my first tip for you in terms of action steps that you can take, right? Is go find some money mindset books, dig into those, do the exercises. And, also working with a coach around the money mindset stuff is really, really powerful and very helpful in terms of moving in that direction of creating financial freedom, right? And creating that abundance that you so desire to have in your life. So that's the first tip. And then another action step that you can take is start noticing your thoughts around money. What is the language that you use when you're thinking about it and when you're talking about it with other people? What are the conversations like with other people around money? Right? And notice how you feel. Do these words, do these phrases, do these descriptions help you feel empowered and in control and excited when it comes to money and finances? Or do they make you feel drained or worried or anxious? Or, that sense of lack? Notice these things. Start paying attention. Okay, because it's going to be important to then start shifting that language to language that it feels more empowering, language that is conducive to creating abundance and welcoming money into your life, right? So start working on that and noticing and maybe journaling about it. That could be a really powerful thing to do. And then number 3, I want you to start educating yourself about how money works. This is something that I discovered for myself recently. And I read the book, How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. And that's been, for me, kind of a gate opener, because it has given me access to all this great information and powerful financial concepts in a way that is presented really straightforwardly and very simply, so that I can get it. And then I feel, a lot more comfortable and confident that I understand these things. And that is what I want you to feel as well. And so if you would like to receive a copy of that book, just put a comment in the comment section that you're interested in receiving a copy of the book, and I will be sure to get that to you. Okay. Now also stay tuned for future trainings, because in the future I'm going to be doing more videos around tips and strategies to help you create financial freedom, to help you create that different relationship with money that's going to allow you to live in abundance and live the life that you choose, the life of your dreams. All right. So that is my message for you today. Oh, I'm so sorry. So that is my message for you today. And I hope that, you'll continue to follow me. If you want that copy of that book, How Money Works, put a comment in the comment section. And until I see you again, my ladies, remember that a mom is a woman first. See you in the next one.